Emmanuel is a cloud technology consultant with extensive experience driving successful projects in finance, energy, and software. He specializes in delivering secure, scalable, and future-ready cloud solutions. So he has some major achievements. Of course, we have to blow his horn. Right. I'm going to invite Emmanuel without further ado and allow him to speak and go into the business of speech. Please, if you have any question, you can leave your question in the chat box and we will be here to give you a response to it. So, Emmanuel, over to you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to me from. Thank you very much, Aiton, for introducing me as an expert in AI and automation. I wish. The truth is, nobody can actually claim to be a know-it-all in this field because the field is always evolving, constantly evolving. Every day, new things are coming out. I listened to the Google I/O the other day. So many new things came out in just one day. 9 new products that nobody has ever heard of. So those are very new things coming out every day. So I consider myself to be someone who knows how to ask good questions, and that is I'll say that's my specialty. Yes, I know how to ask good questions. So I love this topic today, AI and automation for Nigerian businesses. I'm a Nigerian. I'm very passionate about Nigerian businesses and African businesses. I currently work with startups who are trying to integrate or trying to make use of Google Cloud. So I have a little bit of a bias for Google Cloud among all the different cloud providers. I have a telecommunications background, more of a management person than a technical person. So when it comes to AI, I cannot consider myself to be uh, very technically gifted when it comes to AI technology. I am more of a business person. I want to help businesses use these AI tools. I'm not trying to develop the AI tools myself. So I'm trying to be the bridge between a business, especially a startup, and especially a startup in the third world, and the AI. So that's I'll say my area of specialty. So I would share my presentation now. If you give me a second. Yes, I'm going to share. I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please just give us a thumbs up in the comment section, in the chat box. Please, I need to see thumbs up. I like interactive sessions. I don't like uh, just speaking and not sure if anybody can hear me. Okay. So I've seen two thumbs up. Yes, Yvonne, Chris, please, I need to see maybe 10 thumbs up before I continue. James, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Ali Fuani, thank you. Yeah, Johnny, please keep those thumbs up. And yes, okay, coming up. If you can see the presentation, if you can hear my voice, if you're ready to get started. Okay. Gia, okay. Don't want to take too much time. I think I've gotten enough here. Thank you very much. So, the topic once again is AI and automation for Nigerian businesses, strategy for success in a rapidly changing landscape. Okay, so my approach is I try to break down AI, cloud, technology and the internet because every day people throw in AI into their conversation, into their pitch for their business or for whatever they are doing, and it's I won't say it has been overused, and it's many people don't really understand AI. And I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who is not doesn't have a background in computer science or computer engineering, and I want to make it as easy as possible to understand what AI is. And in order to understand what AI is, you need to understand what cloud technology is. In order to understand what cloud technology is, you need to understand what the internet is. So I want to start from the internet as a whole. Okay, so I will start by explaining the internet, or I'll start from maybe just giving a brief definition of the internet, uh, a system of connecting different computers together, and explain what cloud is. But I'll use analogies. I'll make it so simple. I'm not here to give you so many jargons. And then I'll now go into what AI is. Then we'll break down businesses into different categories before we now talk about AI and businesses. To build a bridge between the AI and the businesses. Okay, so right now the world is experiencing so many rapid advancements. Like I just mentioned earlier, Google I/O the other day, so many new advances, and it's really scary for people who do not really understand what AI is. So everybody's afraid of how AI is going to take their jobs, but they don't really know how, and they don't really know when. Okay, so we know that these things are coming out every day, and it is increasingly crucial for businesses to become competitive. Yeah, so if you are a business owner, you do not want to invest all your money and invest all your time and energy into doing something, and then one app just comes out and you can do the whole thing in a few seconds, and your entire business model is in the ground. You need to stay aware, and that's why companies like RT Consulting are here to guide you and guide you and your business so that you can stay in the loop and know exactly what is happening. Okay, so this presentation is going to explain the basics of cloud technology, the core concepts of a business, and identify profitable areas for AI and automation ventures in Nigeria. Okay, so if you're a business owner in this meeting and you want to have an idea of where you can use what AI you can use to optimize one part of your business, you will get something from this webinar. Yeah, so I would start by defining the internet, and I'm going to use real estate to describe explain the internet. Remember, I said I'm more of a business person. I'm not too technical. And I want to use analogies because I believe there are some people here who are business people who are not computer scientists. So I'm not going to explain the internet with computer science terminologies. So the most basic definition of the internet is that the internet is a global network of interconnected computer networks that allows users to share information and communicate. So at the point the electricity was invented, and then people created this thing they call a computer that can maybe do math computations and do some smart things without human intervention. And they found a way to connect one computer to the other through cables. And eventually they created many computers connected together, and it was a network. And maybe all those computers are connected in the same building. And then later on, they wanted to connect one building to another, to another, to another, and then they laid infrastructure between one building and another. And before we know it, there was an interconnection of different networks in different areas, and that created this thing we call the internet. Yeah, so I'll look at it as a giant, ever expanding city. Let's say this entire city that we're looking at here. This is New York. That's Central Park over there, and I think that's the Hudson River. Yeah, so let's say this is the internet. All these buildings interconnected to each other is what I want to describe as the internet. And then the cloud is a desirable residential neighborhood within the city. The best example I'll use is maybe 1004. Let's say Lagos City is the internet. Let's not use New York City. Lagos City is the internet, and 1004 is the cloud. So the cloud is a desirable neighborhood within that city. And this cloud relies on the internet infrastructure to connect with the entire within itself and outside its neighborhood, its vicinity. Okay, so let's just use that analogy for now. We'll go deeper as we continue this presentation. So the internet's foundation is telecommunication infrastructure, which is my own original field. I worked with Huawei Technologies for years. What we did was laying fiber optic cables, wireless routers, switches, data centers. That infrastructure is telecommunication infrastructure. That's all. That is what makes the internet possible. What makes phone call possible. What makes SMSs, texts possible. So that's the infrastructure. That's telecommunications. We also have protocols that are like laws that govern the interaction between all the pieces of the puzzle. So there are different protocols that the internet uses. We have IP addresses that we can use as okay. I want to stick to my real estate analogy. So the telecommunication infrastructure is the terrain. Let's say it's the land, the terrain, yes. And then the protocols are the road networks and the utilities. So you have different streets, you have different avenues, boulevards, sidewalks, bike lanes, and all those things. The protocols. You have IP addresses. The name already says addresses, so we already know what it's going to be. Unique digital identifier for every device. And in real estate is just the way you have your own address, your house address, your zip code, you know. We have routers and ISPs, internet service providers. These are delivery services that move information from one place to another. So information doesn't just move on its own. It uses an ISP or a router, something that moves it, or something smart that moves this information, like a postal service. We have networks. So network, like I said, you create a network of computers within one building. So let's say a network is a small neighborhood. Even within 1004, you might have the area where you have maybe very tall buildings, and then you might have the ones where you have smaller houses. So let's say there are different networks and different areas within neighborhoods within the larger internet, and let's just call those ones networks. The web. So the web in general is just like public. Let me just say a public space. You might have a public park where your kids can go and play. That's the let's just call that the web. And then data. This is the most important thing as far as cloud technology and AI are concerned. This is the most important thing. Data. That is where that is what sets apart the cloud, and that is what has led the revolution that we are seeing right now in artificial intelligence. How this data is handled, used, processed, and regenerated is the lifeblood that has created this cloud revolution. I wanted to hit that nail on the head very hard so that you you get what I'm saying, you understand, and you follow along. So please, if you are liking the real estate analogy, can you just give me a thumbs up, please? I want to keep this interactive. If you are liking the real estate analogy, if it's making sense right now, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So my goal is to keep it as simple as possible. And now we're going to this cloud. We would go into this cloud, and I'm using 1004. Many of us are living in Lagos, or we have lived in Lagos, or we know about Lagos, and we might know 1004 like call it estates. If you don't know 1004, you can use Festac. Festac is another good example. It's a very distinct neighborhood that is different from many other neighborhoods around it. So I can use Festac, I can use 1004, but same picture. Okay. So the cloud is like renting a space within a managed community. Okay. So an apartment, for example, in 1004, you want to just rent a space within 1004. You don't want to buy land in your home. You might be living abroad and you want to come back to Nigeria, and you don't want to buy land in your hometown to live. You want to just live in the city. So renting using the cloud is like renting an apartment in 1004 and living. That's all you need. You just need the space. You don't need the land. You don't need to build a house. You don't need to call bricklayers. You don't need to call carpenters. You don't need to do survey. You do not want to involve yourself in all those things. You just want to rent the space. That's an idea of what cloud technology is. If you want to do everything yourself, it's you're not on the cloud. You might be running your entire business and you buy your infrastructure yourself, you buy the servers, you do your own routing, you do your own security, all those things I mentioned initially, the routers, the protocols, infrastructure, everything you want to do yourself, that's perfectly fine. Yes, if you want to build your almost build your own niche within the internet, you do not want to just rent a space. That's the same thing as you building your house instead of renting. But if you want to use the cloud, you are renting in a managed community. And there are different levels to this. There's a way you can rent a place and then the house is empty. You buy your furniture, you buy your TV, you pay for gas, so you pay for heat, you pay for AC, you do everything. And I will use that as to describe IaaS. You've heard IaaS a lot. So in IaaS, you are or IaaS, you are you are getting renting computing resources, servers, data centers, and everything that is going to be on those data centers, on those servers, is going to be the one who's going to handle it. So you're basically just renting an empty apartment, just the building, just the apartment, and you're going to do the rest yourself. Then we have platform as a service. Here you might rent a fully furnished apartment and you're just moving in. Beautiful, but you still have to pay your bills. You still have to clean your apartment. You still have to do so many different things. And then software as a service is SaaS, which is like getting an Airbnb. Just want to spend, just want to spend 1 month. You're coming for dirty December in Nigeria, and you just want to get an Airbnb at 1,004 for a few weeks for the dirty December, and then you go. The place is going to be cleaned. You are going to pay for every your money you are paying is going to cover the all the bills. You are just staying in the place. Nothing there belongs to you. You're just renting the space just to enjoy your time. That's the best analogy for SaaS. So why would you ever want to use SaaS? Why would you ever want to consider using IaaS or PaaS? And it all boils down to your preference. So uh, the cloud makes things easier. You can easily scale if you are thinking of, instead of building, you've built your own house, for example, a small bungalow in the village, and now you have a big family wedding that has come up, and the space is not enough. What are you going to do? Are you going to build another house by the side in 1 month? No, that's a big deal. That's the same thing as having your own servers in the back of your office. You're running a business. You have your own data center in the back of your office in your IT room, and then all of a sudden there's a new trend. One TikTok video has exploded, and now everybody knows about your products, and then your website crashes because you cannot handle those amount of users. How are you going to increase? Are you going to quickly run to Computer Village and start buying new servers, get new technology, and get pay increase your power bill, or increase your generator to power up the new servers, and try and get new space for the new servers, or build on top of the old ones? That's so stressful. So the reason why you want to build in the cloud is that some beautiful company, maybe Google or Amazon, has already built massive data centers, and you might just want to increase the amount of storage you have. And all you need to do is to go on your computer and click a few buttons, and the amount of storage you have has increased. That's scalability. For example, you've come back to Nigeria for your wedding, and you didn't build a house in the village. You rented an apartment for 30 December, sorry, for the wedding in 1004, and you need more space. What do? Simple. You call them and tell them you need an extra room, and they're going to give you an extra room. That is the advantage of building a cloud. So I'm using this apartment analogy as the cloud. That is why you would want to use cloud technology over building your own or buying your own servers and doing everything yourself. And then cost efficiency. Google now runs pay as you go, just like how before people used to pay maybe monthly bills for their phone, or monthly bills for, let me, DSTV, for example. You pay monthly, whether you watch it or not, you have to pay. That's how some other people run their business. But Google now says, okay, if you watch only 1 hour of DSTV, you pay for 1 hour, which is wonderful. Cost efficiency. Many cloud providers are now doing this. Then increase reliability. NEPA will take lights. There's fuel scarcity. your business can go down if you have everything in the backyard. But if you're on the cloud, it's nothing like that. Enhanced security. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, they have the best engineers in the world. They will secure your data. Nobody's going to hack into it ever. You can be sure about that. But if you have your own in the backyard and one of your employees goes and clicks on one football website because he wants to stream Europa Conference League tomorrow, Chelsea versus Real Betis, and he clicks on one funny website to watch it that he got it from Twitter, and then somebody has hacked into your employee's data and has seen all the things and has and maybe has stolen your money. You see, that's one of the advantages of being in the cloud. You don't have such a risk. Accessibility. Many companies, if I don't know if companies still work like that. Pre-COVID, many companies you could only access the internal network when you're in the office. If you're in your house, you cannot work. And you see employees even leaving their laptops in the office. They don't need to take it home because they can't work from home. But now everybody has made it possible for you to work from home. Um, but with cloud technology, you can access your your data from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in the office. Some companies still function that way. All their data is stored in their building. Maybe like a bank, like UBA now, all their employees' data is stored inside that building. If they don't have, if they lose access to that building for one day, there's nowhere else they can go and access that data. So I don't know how UBA functions. I'm just giving an example. So accessibility is also wonderful. I've sort of gone away from my real estate analogy, but you can still get the point. I won't overflog it. But if you're living in a residential neighborhood, you know you don't have to pay for your own security compared to when you built your house in your village that you might have to hire vigilante to watch your house in case some bad boys want to come in. And then faster deployment. You can see how it's easy to just deploy services when you're already in the cloud. Everything is already provided for. You can easily just do things instead of thinking about going out to buy your servers and getting engineers to set it up, increase your gen capacity, all those things. So these are all the benefits of being in the cloud. I'm going to leave this and go to the next one. Now let's talk about the business. I've spoken about the cloud. I said I was going to be very elementary, so I don't want to go too deep. I've spoken about the cloud, and then let me just talk about a business. What is a business? A business is a vehicle for value creation, period. Anybody who is going into business is going to solve a problem. That's all. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to solve a problem and get somebody to give you his hard-earned money for you to put in your own pockets. And whoever is working for you get paid from that. And then life goes on. You create some profits for yourself. That's why people do businesses. And this is an organized endeavor designed to identify, develop, and deliver products or services. So it can either be a product or a service, which we'll go into different kinds of businesses shortly, but broadly is products or services. And goal is to meet specific needs or desires, ultimately generating value for both the provider and the consumer. Can I just get a thumbs up from anybody who is a business owner? If you're a business owner here, please just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you're a business owner, I'm not shading any employee. If you're an employee, you're also very, very useful to businesses. And I'm an employee myself. So yeah, freelance too. That's also very good. Freelance, business owner, employee, we're all blessings to one another as far as we're creating value. Yeah, so business owners, yeah, keep it going, keep it going. It's not easy sometimes to run a business. I know. I don't know because I don't run a business, but that's why I don't run a business because I know it's not easy. Okay, so I'll categorize businesses into production and distribution of tangible goods. So if you're in a business, you might be creating an actual good, maybe food. Maybe you cook. You're a business owner. You might be delivering services. Maybe just like R3 consulting. Will I say yeah? You're delivering a service, an expertise, assistance, or an experience. Then you might be involved in information and knowledge dissemination. So many companies generate information knowledge and they share it out. You might even own a school. That's information and knowledge dissemination. Technology and innovation. This is the big where the big money is nowadays. Tech, developing new technology and innovating solutions. And experiences and entertainment. You might run a cinema. You might have a podcast. It's a business, and you're making it work. You might even be a photographer. Oh, that's part of services. Okay, yes. You might host events, event manager. Might so you might be even be an artist, a musical artist, and you're a business owner in one way or another. You're not an employee. Okay. So then you can also have a platform or create a network like the K-Scope. Yeah. So you might run a platform and bring people together from one place to another. You are also a business owner. The building blocks of businesses. So different businesses have different very key fact things that make their business run. So if you are running, you're producing anything, your supply chain needs to be tip top. If you are cooking African food in Canada, your supply chain from the village or from wherever the afang and egusi and pepper and everything is being cultivated down to where it gets to the airport in Lagos, to when it gets to Toronto, to when it gets to your store, to how you save it and preserve it and cook it and market it and distribute it and put it out there for people to see and promote it. That's your business. You need to know every single part of that business, break it down into 6 or 7 categories. I try to do this for every single business, even as I'm not a business owner myself, because I'm a consultant to business owners. So I break it down to different categories and look for AI tools that can help automate one part of this business or another. Supply chain, manufacturing, HR, customer service, content creation, information management, you name it. And you can see all the different business categories here. And finance is one that is a building block of all the different business categories. Everybody needs finance because I'm trying to make money here. So there's no business, there's no finance. If it's not, there's no finance. If you're not running finance in your business, that means you're not running a business. You're running a charity. Okay, so uh, I want to talk a little bit about. I'm trying to build a bridge between computers and the internet and cloud technology and artificial intelligence and businesses. Okay, I haven't spoken much about artificial intelligence. If you notice, I've spoken more about cloud technology and I've spoken now about businesses. So in businesses, people will start thinking about, oh, how do I automate this? How do I automate that? And it started. This is nothing new. Automation. I know people are afraid of AI and how it's going to steal their jobs, but automation is absolutely nothing new. This is something that has been happening since man started thinking. We've always wanted to make things quicker, automate things, and that's why we have grown to be so powerful in this world, more powerful than any other animal or any other thing on this world right now. Human beings, we are the most powerful animals, creatures in this world. And it's because we can think, we can automate, and we can become more efficient. Think about even in the US when they had their civil war. Some people thought, see, instead of using human beings to do these things, we should focus on using these human beings to develop new machines that can do these things. Okay, this is smarter. And then they eventually won, and now we can see how the capitalist system has worked for them. Many people don't believe that that's the best, but it has worked. Now, using machines, 3% of the population in America can provide enough food for the entire country. Just maybe 3% of the people. So there's enough food. You don't need half the population trying to create food. And that's because of automation. That's because of machines. It doesn't mean that everybody that was creating food is going to be jobless and is going to die. No, they're going to find something else to do. They're going to become more creative. So I'm a big advocate for saying that, see, AI and cloud technology is not going to make human beings useless. It's going to make them focus on better things. Yes, many people are doing repetitive jobs that they are sick of doing, but they have no choice. You see people sometimes people just have to sit at a desk and answer a phone all day. I've done a job before where I had to sit at the desk and make calls all day. I was depressed. I did it for like 2 months and I ran away from there, ran for my dear life. Yes. How can I just sit at the desk and be making phone calls back to back? That is sad. Why can't I get a tool to automate this and do it for me and I find something else to do? There's always something else to do. So I'm gonna have to put that out there. Please don't be afraid that AI is coming to take your job. And then whenever you see anything AI, you fight against it. That is a very useless fight. And you cannot win that fight, just so you know. So a few examples here, in production of goods, automation, the automated making of cars, Ford automated making of cars, and that is what made vehicles so abundantly available today. I'm sure the people that saw the automation of cars back in the day were afraid, but here we are today. Cars are so efficiently made. Delivery of services, let's say you are a private consultant and you want to deliver your services, you can find ways to automate those things. Let me not spend much time on that. Information and dissemination of knowledge, online platforms. What I'm talking about here in this particular slide is how internet alone and computer came to improve different processes. I'm not talking about AI and cloud technology in this particular sheet. So in, let's say, medical doctors back in the day, they used to have, even back in my university, I don't want to call my university, so it doesn't look like I'm talking smack on them. We used to have all our records on paper, but computers came and then everything came on the system. That is how everything should be working now, I assume, in most universities, even in my university. And information and dissemination and knowledge dissemination. Before, when I was in high school, I used to buy complete sports every morning or Sporting Star on my way to school. And that was how I got my football news, transfer news. Now I have Fabrizio Romano on my his notification is on whenever I tweets. He has any new tweets. That's the first thing I'm going to check. Even after this webinar, I don't need to buy complete sport again. That's computer and internet now, not AI and cloud technology. Just to make that clear. Then technology and innovation. I studied geography and regional planning in the university, and we were drawing maps on paper. I'm not that old, so I'm not that old, but we're drawing our maps on paper, which is quite strange. Right now, nobody's doing that anymore. Everybody's doing that on a computer. And then later on, we started seeing in the movies, started seeing CGI in the movies. So they don't need to go to a studio or they don't need to do too much. Uh, they don't need to risk anybody's life. They just use CGI to make an actor fly, and that was a new development. And e-commerce platforms replaced many stores. So people started shopping on Amazon, and now, unfortunately, people started shopping on Temu. But but those are the those are some things that the computer and the internet used to replace regular everyday platforms. So the new age of AI and automation. Okay, I don't know. I want to just give a minute here for some interaction, just small interaction. If you've ever bought anything on Amazon, can you just give me a thumbs up? Okay, if you ever use Temu, if you ever use Temu and you're not maybe too happy with what you got on Temu, can you give me a thumbs up? Let me see if it's just me. No, I'm not shading Temu. You didn't really like what you bought. Oh, AliExpress. Okay, that's another one. All of them, is a small margin business, so everybody's trying to make small profits and is trying to outshine the competitor. Okay, okay, that's good. So let me move on. So now, if you look at the way I've done things, this is just the way I think. I think I told you my own specialty, my only real specialty in this life is I like to ask good questions. Yeah, so I spoken about the internet. I've spoken about the roots of cloud technology. Spoken about the basic categories of businesses. I've now brought in where computers and in the internet came in and upgraded different businesses. I'm not talking about cloud or AI, those computers. They upgraded different businesses and it made life easier, made life better. It's unthinkable to even do things the way they were done in the past. And we've seen how life has been so easy. I'm saying this because everybody's afraid of AI and cloud. And I'm saying this to reduce your fear. Embrace it. Don't run away from it. Embrace it because it's here to stay. Okay. And now I'm going to go into the new AI, the new age of AI and automation, a a new era of disruption. Okay, so this is the evolution. This is how it's evolved. So computer age, first of all, where computers started doing things humans couldn't do, processing data. Just one computer. I'm not talking about the internet. Just think about back in the day where you used to type with a typewriter and then you had to bring it out and erase that particular line and align it perfectly well and type it again manually. And then they brought something else that we had, like a computer in school with a big monitor. And they were telling us about CPU and floppy disk and this, and then you can type and then just delete it with a few strokes of the key. That's what I'm talking about now. Computer now came in and started processing that data. So you don't save the document on the paper again. It's in your computer, in your floppy disk. So local processing and isolation of data. Then networks came. You can connect one computer to the other. From your computer room, you can connect to maybe your administrator's office or to the staff room. That's a local connection. The internet came and we started connecting different computers to each other. And eventually we started browsing the internet from our computer rooms and the rest. And then we have come into the stage of AI and cloud technology. Now that is the third stage. And then the AI and the cloud, like I explained earlier, is it has to do with how this data is handled. AI is how this data is handled. So now instead of storing your data in your computer room, this data can be stored in the cloud. And when I say in the cloud, I mean it is not stored on your floppy disk, it's not stored on your flash drive, it is stored inside a website. And that website is in somebody's data center, maybe halfway across the world, or maybe at main one and Lekki, but it's not stored inside your flash drive, it's not stored inside your computer. Please, I need to ask this question. When last did you use a flash drive? I remember in university, I always had my flash drive with my key. Please, if you can just type, when last did you use your flash drive? When last did you even see a flash drive? Please, just someone should just. I just need three responses. This is just a good question that would make you think about cloud. Yes, it's been long. Last year, Yvonne, wow, unbelievable. And you're in Canada. So it's been so long since I saw a flash drive, honestly. Before I used to had everything on my phone, but now everything is stored either on your Facebook, where is the where are all those pictures stored? It's not on your phone memory. Where where is your music stored? Before I used to have a memory card on my phone where I stored all my songs. Where are those songs stored now? Where are your WhatsApp messages stored? You want to send something, a movie to somebody nowadays, you don't even need to send a movie. Just tell the person to go to Netflix. Where is that movie? Where is that movie? Friday night. I know you're in Ghana. So they see you flash drive in Ghana. Oh my. Come to Nigeria. So yeah, we we used to have all those things before, but nowadays everything is stored somewhere else. And if it is not stored on your computer, it's stored on the cloud. Just letting you know that. Okay, so that is the third age where we are. Okay, so I will talk about I'll talk about the data part of this. It's not actually in this page right now, but I'll talk about it. Now, the thing here is that because these things are no longer stored, all this information is no longer stored on our computer here. It is now aggregated and stored in somebody else's computer somewhere else. That person now has access to all the data. And if they have access to all that data, they can make sense of it. So if they've seen that people keep if they've seen that people keep asking these certain questions or making these certain requests or acting in a certain way or storing particular words or phrases or sentences. They can make sense of it. And this is where AI comes in. So AI is basically a system that makes sense of this data that we are storing in the cloud. AI can be used in different ways. We'll go into that shortly, but AI is a system that makes sense of this data that we're storing in the cloud. And that's why I mentioned that the data is the most important thing. And that data that is no longer on our computer, that is now stored on some other system somewhere, is being analyzed and it made sense of. And then we can now use that data to automate processes. And this is so useful because it makes life easier. We'll go into all the different areas now. Okay. Now, production and distribution of tangible goods. We now have automated warehouse with robotics, and are called like dark factories. I'll explain more about this later. But I'm just giving you the uh, brief oversight of everything of all these different areas. These are the different business categories. So if you are somebody who is involved in any sort of production, just know that AI can help automate many of these processes. We'll go into them shortly. Delivery of services, you are a forex trader, for example. Some people are, I used to trade forex back in the day, or let's say I still do. And many people came up with algos that can understand the way the market works and then try and predict it with the algorithm. And algo is not a new word to anybody right now. Every time you are swiping on your phone, they say the algo knows what you like. You spend 10 seconds watching this video, but you spend 1 second watching that video. They will recommend the one you spend 10 seconds watching more often. Something similar to that, they'll keep recommending such things. They've seen that people of Nigerian background like to visit certain websites and they keep recommending those websites to other people of Nigerian background. That is algo. We have AI powered legal research. So we have a lot of companies now, law firms that are now using AI to scan all their documents and get proof and data and information for them at the tip of a button, which is threatening some paralegals' jobs, no doubt, but it is also helping them to do their jobs more efficiently. Then we have AI generated content news. This is not new to anyone. A lot of the things we see, a lot of the content we see on social media nowadays is AI generated. We have an AI driven drug discovery. I talk to companies that are using AI to fast track drug discovery every day. It is a big deal. So many companies, instead of testing humans over 10 years, can simulate different scenarios and make quick drug discoveries. And then we have virtual and augmented reality. We've seen people use different glasses, and Google launched their own Google glasses the other day that you can read text and it can also speak to you. They have a lot of augmented reality experiences, even in the cinema. You have AI generated music, immersive gaming. They also have AI driven social media moderation and blockchain supply chain platforms. Okay, less on that. So we'll go into more. So I want to give more examples. I want to give examples now because without examples, we would not really we will not really gain from all this. So, like precision farming, if you are a farmer you're involved in farming, they have AI tools that analyze sensor data to optimize crop productions. Okay, so they have sensors. Sensors are not new to anyone. But when you as a farmer in Cameroon, yeah, you're using a particular sensor and it is not stored on your computer anymore. It is stored in the cloud, and it's getting information on how things should be on seasonality and patterns from your different crops, and it's stored on the cloud. That that data is mixed with a lot of data from all around the world, from like Google. Instead of you having to Google some information that has been published from different research. That's your AI tool that is attached to your your sensors there would get different ways that you can optimize your crop management. So like you can look at the Climate Corporation, which is a platform where you can get a lot of this information. Then we have supply chain optimization, AI powered logistics for real time visibility. Is another product or service that can help supply chain optimization. We have market forecasting in agriculture. This is one area where it's so hard to use AI, but it's not too common to use AI in this area. But I had to squeeze out some examples where you can actually use AI to make prediction forecasting, and then you can also use very smart equipment that are powered with artificial intelligence to improve your business. Okay, like I said, this is supposed to be using AI to improve your business. So I don't want to go too deep into the technicalities. I want to rather focus on business owners and how they can use AI, some AI tools. So that's why I've gone into examples because of a lack of time. So yeah, we have some of these examples like Grow Intelligence that helps with marketing forecasts or market forecasting for agricultural data predictions. Then in fintech, we now have AI tools that can detect fraud in real time. The other day, somebody stole my data and used it to make a purchase, but that person was in Vancouver and I'm in Toronto. And immediately that person hit purchase on his phone or computer, the thing was blocked instantly. He didn't have to go through any human intervention where they will say, oh, somebody has bought something and they need to try and retrieve the money and you need to call back in 7 days or this or that. As it was blocked instantly, a customer service rep called me to confirm, and then no money was taken from my account. What they just did was to block my card immediately. And it's becoming harder for people to defraud others because of these AI tools. And one of those tools is FeedZai. We have customer service chatbots. One example here is Forethought AI. So we Google has also done a lot here, but Forethought AI is another good customer service AI customer support virtual assistant. We have credit score and risk assessments that helps improve accuracy. Zest AI. If you In Nigeria, we don't really have credit score ratings and all those things, but uh, in Canada, in US, in UK, they use credit score a lot. So some tools can help you when it comes to finance and being money smart. And then automated transaction processing. This is for business owners. UiPath is a good example. For logistics business, so you're running a business, you're doing logistics, you're doing transportation. People just use Google Maps, but yeah, optimal routes helps plan proper route optimization for your deliveries. We have predictive maintenance for your transportation business, like Uptake can help do that. An AI tool that can help do that. Automated warehouse management, Locus Robotics is a good tool, and you can also look up NVIDIA Metropolis to reduce human error in your logistics and transportation business. Your retail and e-commerce business. If you're running a retail and e-commerce business and you want to make more personalized recommendations to your shoppers, you can look out Criteo. Inventory management is another difficult thing. Many people have to struggle to manage their inventory and know when to optimize their stock, forecast demands. You need to know when to get these particular things in your warehouse and when not to, so that you don't have a full warehouse of things that you do not need, you cannot sell at that moment. And look up and Blue Yonder, automated customer support, live person, and using fraud in online transactions, just like the other one. Riskified also helps. Then many more apps here. You can see Babylon Health That these days now you don't even need to go to a doctor to ask questions. You have your smartwatch on your hand, you have your phone that has been listening to your conversations almost every day, and you can you can actually get diagnosed by having conversations with a doctor remotely, taking pictures of a particular bruise or scar on your body, and then a lot of your your vitals can be taken even from your smartwatch, and then you can be diagnosed without actually going to the hospital to see a doctor. We spoke about drug discovery and development, hospital management, and then reducing errors in medical records and prescriptions. Deep mind health helps with that. Mm. Then if you are into the energy and utilities business, and you are trying to handle maybe smart grid management, Siemens grid. This one we might not have many business owners because this is in Nigeria, especially. This is something that's handled nationally. But in some other areas where you might maybe be involved in supporting supporting maybe PHED or a Keja Electric or something, and you want to help detect fraud. I mean, you can use SenseHawk, like I mentioned earlier. If you're also handling maintenance and you don't know how to schedule your preventive maintenance, you can use C3 AI. These are some tools that can be used, and then manufacturing. It's a big deal, so I won't dwell on this, but there are many tools for this. And then strategies for success, embracing cloud and AI. So, how do you actually go about embracing cloud and AI and use it to succeed? So, you need to actually believe that it's not here to hurt you, it's here to help you. That's one of the first things. You need to also focus on the kind of data you handle. This data you get for your business or from your business, it's what fuels the AI. AI is basically just getting insights from your data and using it to make sense, making sense of it, and giving you recommendations. So all these AI tools, no matter what AI tool it must use your data. Whatever data you feed it, how many sales you made in May, who you sold to, what time of the day you sold, all those things. If you're a business owner, you're selling something, that data is important. Is that data that the computer would use, plus all the available information on the internet to give you recommendations or to guide you. That is artificial intelligence. That intelligence that you don't have to generate yourself or to scratch your head or to hire 100 people for. Implementing that intelligence into your business requires your data. So if you want to embrace cloud, you need to get good quality data. You need to have good quality data. You need to pinpoint areas where you should automate first. You cannot just say, oh, you want to use AI in your business. Where do you want to use AI in your business? That's why I broke down the business into different categories. And I broke down each business category into different key areas. Is it the supply chain you want to optimize? Is that the place that's giving you headache? Then you can get a tool. Then you can come to R3 and say, okay, please, guys, I need an AI tool that will help my business. The supply chain is suffering. And they will come in and say, okay, yes, we can use this tool. We use these guys. They will be the ones to show you how to use it, integrate into your business so that you can get going, so that you can get automated, so you can get profitable. That is where, that is how to go about it. You need to develop talent. You need to hire individuals that have interest in AI and cloud skills. Nobody's an expert. Nobody is a know-it-all. Even if you're living in San Francisco and you're hearing all these things every day, you have a lot to learn. You need individuals that have interest in this and not people that are resistant. You need to start with pilot projects. Focus on the areas that have high return on investment. If you are getting a lot of complaints on Google Maps that, oh, your business, you're getting bad reviews, you need to get maybe an AI customer service chatbot first that would ask people questions, try and understand people's challenges, so that you have an area to you find the areas that are most urgently in need of automation. Okay. And then you also need to prioritize security and data privacy, because in this era of AI and cloud technology, there's a lot of there are a lot of security breaches, especially when you use AI tool on data that is stored in your computer. Yeah, it's not stored on Google's cloud or on Amazon's cloud. So there's a bigger security risk there. So I have spoken a lot. I've spoken a lot. I try not to be technical. I try to use some analogies. I try to break down cloud AI into different categories, and I also yes, yeah, I also broke down built a bridge between cloud technology, AI, and a business. So you can see different parts of your business that might need automation, and then see some examples of tools that can help in that particular area. If you need, I believe this webinar is not enough to give you all you need. If, of course, they put phone numbers and emails, R3 Consulting is always there to guide you on how to implement these AI tools in your business. But I am just here to make you understand that there is no way around it. The same way computers came, made our lives much better. And if you're not using a computer right now to run anything that is computer based, you are living in the past. That is the same way. If you do not adopt AI strategies in your business, your business might end up lagging behind and not succeeding. Unfortunately, that's just the bitter truth. I'll end this with an example that a friend of mine gave me about his mom. His mom was running one of the best hair salons in Bagada or Magodo. I'm not sure where in Lagos. And the reason why she was able to do this was that she had money to buy a generator. Whenever people make their hair other places, they cannot heat it up, they cannot perm it, they cannot dry it. And then everybody always came to her shop because she had money to buy a generator. Generator was the key selling point. Eventually, some people started importing cheap generators from Japan and from China. And then she lost her selling points. Everybody had a generator now, and it now became who can make the best hair, who is the most polite when they come, or who can give me free peanuts and champagne when I'm making my hair. That's what people started using to make decisions. So you might be very successful in your business now, have a very good key selling point, and tomorrow one AI tool comes and everybody can automate that thing and then have that same selling point. So where do you stand? You don't want your business to crash overnight. So Nigerian businesses have to start embrace intelligent automation so that they can be well positioned to thrive in a rapidly changing landscape. Thank you very much. That's my time. Shaitan, I would like to hand it over to you to continue this webinar, and I think
Mhm.
it's going to be time for questions and answers.
Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was very insightful and enlightening. So it's time for Q&A, and we have some questions in the chat box. I'm going to start from Kenneth. Kenneth asks, what challenges do Nigerian businesses face with unstructured and manual processes?
What challenges do Nigerian businesses face with unstructured and manual processes? Will I say, will I list out the challenges they face with unstructured and manual processes, or will I say that the fact that they use unstructured and manual processes in the first place is a major barrier to any sort of progress? There's nothing you do, even if you are offloading a truck and you don't have a particular modus operandi for offloading that truck. You might not be able to offload as many trucks as somebody who has is a pattern, a strategy, a method of doing it. Or we both lift it like this and drop it here, then we flip it this way and we drop it here, and next person comes, takes it away. Just a simple pattern in just something like offloading a truck can give you an edge. So I believe that the challenge that many Nigerian businesses have is that they do not have structured and manual processes and automated processes in the first place, and they need to adopt more or a structure for whatever they are doing, and they need to automate many processes. I think that's what I have to say about that.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. So our next question from Marufa. Why do some employees resist business process automation using AI in Nigeria? So, we have some employees that if the employer, the organization would have invested so much, and then there will be strong resistance from the end users themselves, which are the employees. So, why do such resistance? Why do they come up? And how to also control and reduce such change?
Yeah, so it's fear. It's fear. I think that's the best way to put it. Why else would they resist automation? Is because they're afraid of losing their jobs. Maybe they're afraid of losing their job. Maybe they're afraid of change, and it's natural. It's natural. You keep hearing news about how people are losing their jobs, but they are not also talking about how people are gaining new jobs from automation. Because as one door closes, another one opens. There was almost no job like AI consultants or automation specialists. In fact, many years ago, we didn't even hear anything about cloud engineer or cloud architects. Now, someone is a cloud architect making $200,000 a year and is enjoying his life while you are living in fear. Why not embrace it and look for opportunities there? I was going to talk about different job opportunities in cloud and AI and automation, but that's going to be a discussion for another day. But for today, we only spoke about Nigerian businesses, and I must tell anybody who is resisting it to stop resisting it and embrace it instead, because there's no way around it. It must be automated. Look for opportunities, look for new jobs in cloud technology, and try and grow in that area. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look for opportunities in AI and growing it. Okay, so we have the next question from Ikina. Why is the skills gap a major issue in implementing AI automation in Nigeria? Why are we having skill gap
Why is
issue?
there a skill gap?
Yes.
Honestly, I won't say there's a skill gap in implementing AI and automation in Nigeria. The reason why I won't say there's a skill gap is because this is an emerging industry. Like even in America and Canada, people are just learning about these things. People are just knowing about these things. It's not as if in Canada, different business owners know a lot about AI and automation and are already implementing it, and then in Nigeria, they don't know about it. I think the problem is the fact that there's no data to work with in Nigeria. And like I said, AI and automation heavily depends on data, using data. So if there's no data, then you cannot automate anything. That's good. Okay, so before immediately after we finish this Q&A, I just want to list out 7 patterns of AI. Mm, but maybe that will clarify this question. But I won't say there's a skill gap in automating or implementing automation in Nigeria. The problem is that there is not enough data to work with to implement AI and automation in Nigeria.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. Because it's like you said, it's an emerging market and we are trying to keep up with the trends so we don't get left behind. All right, so we have the next one from Brandon. Okay, she's asking for access to PowerPoint to replay. Yes, please follow us on our social media. We are going to post the link to the replay, the recording, and also the PowerPoint slides on our socials. So we have one from Matthew. What prevents many Nigerian SMEs from using predictive AI for analytics?
Okay, what prevents many SMEs? I would say maybe costs. Many SMEs, they are SMEs. They are not big banks. They are not big companies that can use AI and all these things. So you're in a small business and you're not really making sales. Economy is not really growing, and you are thinking about the costs. Funny enough, there are many free services, and that's why they have consultancy that you can go and meet and ask questions. Let them tell you how to go about it. That's what I believe. That's one thing that can help, because people are afraid that it's going to cost you a lot of money. Small businesses are afraid that they don't know anything about AI. They are thinking, what do I do? What is AI? How am I going to do it? Like, what am I going to use it for? I think that's the biggest, let me say, the lack of knowledge of what AI is and how to access it at a low cost or for free self is one of the major things that is preventing SMEs from using predictive AI for analytics.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you
yeah,
have
so I was
something
going
else
to
for?
yeah, I was going to talk about the 7 patterns of AI. And I've learned these 7 patterns of AI from Project Management Institute, because that's another certification I've just gotten. AI and implementation, project management for different organizations that want to actually implement AI in their businesses. So they divided AI into 7 patterns. And when I say 7 patterns, 7 ways you can use AI. 7 ways you can use AI. They just categorized it. One of them is recognition. So you have cameras that are looking upon that may be in your shop looking at the entrance, and sometimes you just have these cameras, and then you have to go back and watch the video and then try and recognize who came in and who did not. But when I was with Huawei, we did a Lagos State Smart City project, and we have these cameras that once they see a car coming, they can capture the plate number and get that person's information. Right now in Lagos, all over Lagos, at least mainland, we have those cameras that we installed ourselves. So this is a way you can use AI for recognition, facial recognition, plate number recognition, and something. So as you keep getting of course the data that's why I say data is always the most important thing. If you can just capture a plate number and then you have a plate number, it's useless. But if you have a database where a plate number is linked to somebody's name, is linked to somebody's address, linked to somebody's workplace, phone number, then it's useful. So one pattern of AI is recognition. Another one is conversation and human interaction. So we have AIs that are using speech to text. We have AIs that you can have conversations with. Many companies are now running interviews with AI. So they have a lot of standards in their companies, and then they load this AI with data. When you have time, you call that companies. You are coming for an interview. You are the one that will pick up the phone and call the company, and then they ask you some basic questions, and then you interact with the AI, and then this AI sends that feedback to the company and says, "Oh, this might be the best candidate based on even the way the person spoke during the phone call, how confident the person was, how the person gave good examples," and then you end up having the HR call just those few people that are the top candidates without a whole long HR process. That's one way you can use a conversation and human interaction AI to get that to and you can utilize AI. That's another way you can utilize AI, always on the data. So your company's standards and all those things are the things that you feed into the AI that will give you results. You have predictive analysis and decisions. So there are a lot of AIs that predict a lot of that make predictions and then help you make decisions. These days we have weather. Let me just use weather forecast. Let me not even go far. Weather forecast that can help you predict, they help you make predictions and make you help in your decisions. We have goal-driven systems. We have autonomous systems like self-driven cars. They're not yet in Nigeria, but they're in many parts of the world. We have AI that you can use to spot patterns and anomalies. Just like I said, somebody tried to use my card to buy something in Vancouver, which is 3 hours, uh, three time zones away from where I am in Toronto, and immediately the AI system saw it. It stopped the transaction before while it's processing, while it's still rolling to say purchase completed, it has blocked it in that split second. Then we have hyper personalization AI that can help you personalize a lot of experiences. Even when you are on TikTok, you see that the kind of content you see or the kind of ads you see are different from the one your boyfriend sees as a woman. You see a lot of clothes, fashion, and then your boyfriend is seeing sports and sports bets and this and that. It's personalizing it. It's AI that is doing that. It's not a human being personalizing it. So these are different ways you can use AI. 7 different ways you can use AI to help yourself. So that's all I have to say about that. I think that's my time.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I believe with how this webinar went, we will likely have a second part because we can't exhaust the AI topic, and we also want to keep up with the trend, like I previously mentioned. All right, so we are at the end of today's webinar, but before we go, we have free consultations. So if you want us to give a consultation on how AI can help automate and improve your business processes, please fill the form that was sent in the chat box and we will get back to you. So that's the end of the webinar for me. And thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure having everybody in today's webinar. And we are going to give a follow-up to it. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a webinar we are going to continue. So just stay tuned. There's always more to come. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Shaitan. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.